All right, guys. So volume of a pyramid. Okay. So when doing the volume of a pyramid, we're going to be using the formula 1/3 base times height. I'm sorry, a 1/3 area of the base times the height. Remember that the letter B here, the big B, doesn't stand for base. It stands for area of the base. Now, of course, and just like we've talked about in prisms, pyramids, your base would just vary. Here right now we have a triangular base, but over here we have has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a hexagonal base. Okay, so again, it just depends on the shape of the base, the name it's gonna have. They're all ultimately gonna be pyramids here because they converge to one point. But anyways, if we look at this triangular pyramid above, uh, we have here our base. We already said it's a triangular base. And I don't know if you could see from there, but this one in particular, it had a little right angle right there. So this is going to make our life easier because we won't have to, draw an imaginary line to figure out our height. It's already telling us that, the one across the 90 is 5, the small one is 3, and the other one is 4. So we need to find the area. And again, area of the base is, big B. This is a triangle, so base times height divided by 2. 4 times 3 divided by 2 because it's a triangle. And 4 times 3 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. So the area of my base here is 6. And units miles squared. Alright, so that's it so far on big B. Now I need H. H stands for the height of the figure. And usually it's going to be given. There'll be times when it's not. And depending on the base, it might allow itself for you to do Pythagorean theorem. When it's a triangle, it's a little bit hard to determine what this bottom piece is without using some relationships. But whenever you have a rectangle or a square, it'll be super easy. You'll see in a bit. Anyway, so the height is already given. It's 4. And if I wanted to find the volume, again, I just substitute at this point. I know everything, so volume is simply big B, which is 6, times my height, divided by 3. So again, it's just 6 times 4 divided by 3. And so the volume of this specific pyramid is 8. The units are miles, so miles cubed. Cubed because we're talking about volume. If you're wondering where it's coming from, if you think about chemistry or those other classes where you've had to multiply units together, remember how we said that area has units squared? Length is just regular units, and something, you think about it, x times x squared, right? X cubed, right? So you think about that on the units, that's where the cube comes from. All right, so next example. Again, we have a hexagonal pyramid, and we're going to be using the same formula to calculate the volume. And again, volume is just the area of the base times the height divided by 3. So I'm going to try to find the area of my hexagon. This is a regular hexagon, and I know this because of the tick marks on the figure. So if each side is 6, and my apethum, which is already given, is 5.2, I don't really have to do much to find the area here. Because if you recall, the area of a regular polygon is your apethum times perimeter divided by 2. My perimeter here, if each side is 6, my perimeter is 36. My apethum is 5.2. So notice how easy it is to find the area. So 5.2 times 36 divided by 2. So the area of my polygon is 93.6. The height, luckily it was already given, so we really don't have to do anything here. The height was given as 9, and so again, volume is just the area of your base times your height divided by 3. So 93.6 times 9 divided by 3, and we get that our volume is 280.8. The unit for meters, and everything was meters, so meters cubed. And the m cubed is just indications of units. If you were sharing or constructing and you were sharing information with somebody else, it just allows you to come up with the same product in the end. Same dimensions. All right, here's another example here. And on this one, again, it's a little bit more clear as to what would you do if you didn't know your height, but you do know it. It's already given. But I just want to let you know that if for some reason you didn't know your height, and instead you were given your slant height, you could ultimately do Pythagorean theorem. Again, in this problem, it's not needed, but you could go that route if you didn't know it. And this distance would be half of 7. If I would have used my slant height over here instead, it would have been half of 6. But anyways, we're still doing volume. Volume is the area of your base times the height divided by 3. My base is a rectangular base, where this is 6 and this is 7. So the area of my base here is just 6 times 7, which is 42. My height was already given. My height was 9. And again, I just have to plug it in. So 42 times 9 divided by 3. So the volume here is 126 miles, again, cubed, because we're talking about volume. All right, that's pretty much it. Again, you could always work a problem backwards. If you know your algebra, if they give you volume, just work it backwards and you'll be fine.